This is the largest train museum in Georgia. We have over 90 pieces of rolling stock. We do operate 2 trains, the full-size locomotive. And then we'll operate the little park train. I've got people who've been coming here every year for 10 years. I've got members who bring their children 30 and 40 and 50 times a year.
Shade, and it's just really nice. All right, welcome guys. We are here at the Southeastern Railway Museum. This is very exciting. Welcome as we go along for season 2 of Jacob's Rail Expedition. And you can tell they have a train, and that's a newly restored Southern switch engine, and we're going to check it out. We're going to also check out what we have on display here, or what they have on display here, and we're just going to see and ride the train, and we're going to talk to a gentleman later on in the episode. But come along, we're going to explore. There's the train.
Unlike most train stations, or platform I should say rather, our train has to back into the boarding area to load and unload passengers. The museum admission includes 1 ticket on either the large historic train or the little park train. I think we made the better choice. Ride the big train. And with a single blast of the horn, it's time to get in line to board.
Tickets? Oh, my ticket was the third as well.
Well, yeah,
Okay,
I saw you got it.
I'm going in this car.
Welcome to the transfer caboose. And off we go on the train.
So we're now going in the reverse. Oh, past the switch. And there's that active freight rail line.
Unfortunately, we missed a freight train while checking out Building 1, but maybe you'll see some during your visit.
How you liking the trip so far?
Great.
Great, yep. If you go in here, it's actually nice and cool. So you have the opportunity to get some shade. I like this option a lot because you can get some nice shade and it's just really nice.
Before too long, we head back to the station. Before we know it, we are backing into the station.
That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that.
The next thing to do after riding the train is to explore the many display pieces at the museum.
Exhibit and gift shop. Let's see. Yep. One of the things you notice is like when you're walking down the building number 1, I believe, it's like a train. It looks like a train station, like because of these lights. So you have the Central Georgia, right here at this nice board, Central Georgia Railway. We have the Seaboard Airline Railroad. Wow. I think these are duplicates. Are they? No, they're not. So they're like from maybe 2 different stations. So the Piedmont, which runs from Washington, New York, actually is operated by Amtrak now. So it's from Charlotte to Raleigh, so that's kind of interesting. Let's see, the Southern. So I'm guessing what we're looking right here is their starting points and then their end points. Because some of the ones I'm used to like seeing, like it be like, so your town right here or your city, and then it shows the name, and then it shows the time or the arrival, and then the departure. So I'm not used to seeing these boards, so these are actually kind of cool. And I guess these are like our special and extra sections. So I guess like back then, like I guess maybe when they started the steam program, you would see like 4501 or whatever Autumn Leaf Express or whatever steam engine was running. You have your all your signals. Like these are so cool. Like so you can switch them. It's like stop, approach, clear. You have like clear, approach. Wow. So there must be like a filter, like maybe it's like a glass filter or something like that. As a rail fan, like switching like lights is something I have to get better like on reading like signals, but these look real nice. Like this is so cool. So this one's approach. So this one's stop. Wow. So whenever you see like, for instance, on the main line, you see red, and that means in that signal block, there's a train coming. So that's kind of interesting because like I know like for rail fans, if you see red, that's good for you. But if you see green, that means there's no train coming. So it is kind of confusing. This is like special. Like this is the Atlanta chapter special, NRHS. So this was like when they did one of their steam excursions from probably, I don't know what era they used this in, but like this is like this is cool to see because like I know like on all the old slides, like a lot of the NRHS like Atlanta chapter excursions and all the other different chapter excursions, they would have something similar like this on the end of their train. And then this has been placed on the National Register of Historical Places, so that's pretty cool. We're gonna go up here and we're gonna go check out this exhibit. So there wasn't that much room to move around, so with these corridors. See the private Pullman. And I don't know if you can hear that, but there's a train going by right now, so I think it's a freight train. And then you have your showers, so yeah, so everyone have this communal shower. So I also think it's like the little things, like look, like these pull down shades, like you don't see that in railroading nowadays, so that's really cool. And wow, so this is nice. So I think a lot of these, they were like, I believe they were like sleeping cars, and then they converted a lot of them for like, either they converted them or these beds like fold down or slide down, and they form a bed. And then here's like an example of that actually folded down. So then you have your bunk up on top, And then you have also down below, you have where those two seats, they make a bed. And then we get to the queen, I guess, of their collection. I don't know what their queen is, but I would assume this is one of their many pride and joys here. The Savannah and Atlanta 750 steam locomotive.
This steam locomotive has toured all over the southeastern United States and met other popular engines along the way, like Southern 722 and 4501, as well as the Flying Scotsman.
If you see these wheels, you can see they're taller than I am. So these wheels are going to be, I don't roughly know how tall these wheels are, but I know I'm like 5'6", 5'7". So these wheels are pretty tall, and they're built like that for speed. So like when this steam engine was built, you know, it was only built with 3 drive wheels. So it's built and it was designed to get up and go.
To learn more about the 750 and the museum, we chat with gate manager Greg Wells.
My name is Greg Wells. I've been a volunteer here at the Southeastern Railway Museum for almost 4 years now. I retired in 2012, and the other things I do in my retirement are in front of a computer, and I realized I needed to get out of the house. This is 5 miles up the highway. I've always been interested in history, more in old cars than old trains, but any old transportation. And they were looking for somebody to help sell tickets in the gatehouse, and I raised my hand and they took me in. This museum sprang out of the Atlanta chapter of the National Railway Historical Association. A lot of the people involved in that 45 years ago were retired railroadmen, things like that, and many of them had come to own rolling stock cars and locomotives and things. And I tell you what, if you think storing a car collection is hard, try storing a collection of rail cars.
Yes.
So they ended up getting a plot of land actually across the street and a little south of where we are now, and started storing their cars there. Eventually opened it as sort of a part-time museum, 1 day a week, and then every Saturday, and then they would run trains every one Saturday a month. Had a little bigger loop of track. This property we're on now was for many years a rail car rebuilding facility under 2 or 3 different owners. And when the last owner went out of business, the owner of the property, who was not the person running the business, couldn't sell it. So after a few years, he had a lot of businesses in his portfolio. He donated this property to the Southeastern Railway Museum and took a tax write-off. Fortunately, a lot of the rail that you see here was here. Most of the rail that we run on was here. And so it's just a perfect thing for us, just a few miles away. This is the largest train museum in Georgia as a 35-acre property. We're also Georgia's official transportation history museum by act of the state legislature. We have over 90 pieces of rolling stock.
All right, so we're gonna check out the sleeper car. So you're gonna come along. And you see how, like, compared to the other places, you'll notice just how much, like, they're maximizing their space. Like, no space is wasted. Called the Troop kitchen car. And this is like their kitchen. Like, this is a coal stove. Like, wow. You put the coal in there and it cooks it, so. Wow, it's kind of like.
We have a fabulous HO model train layout with computer-operated sound and animation, over 400 lighting effects, a beautiful backdrop mural done by a local artist. We have MARTA's historic Atlanta City bus collection, which is an example, when it's full, of every model of city bus used in Atlanta since 1947. A total of 9 of them. MARTA occasionally borrows buses back for displays. I'm down to just 7 right now, but 5 of the 7 that we have currently, the kids can get behind the wheel and make motor noises and pretend they're driving. We have a lot of material from Atlanta Terminal Station, which was Atlanta's big rail station, torn down in 1972. A lot of other historic stuff.
I think that's so cool because I know, like, there's a lot of museums that, like, only able to, like, have stationary, like, rolling stock, whereas here they are able to do trains, and I really like that. And not just like the big train, but they also have like the park train. So I like how, like, as a kid, like, that way there's something, like, for anyone, you can't really know where to go forward unless you know the past. So.
Absolutely. And that's what we try to do here, is teach kids history. So many of the kids who come here have never ridden on a train before, even in their 20s or 30s. Same thing with our bus collection. We have people in their 60s or 70s who's never sat behind the steering wheel of a full-size city bus.
Yeah.
So we're delivering experiences you're not going to get too many other places. It's a real, in my opinion, treasure for the county, and is consistently voted the most popular museum in Gwinnett County, Georgia, year after year.
My experience here today, so I had a lot of fun. I think my favorite thing obviously was the train ride, but I really love this steam engine right here, because I remember looking up old YouTube videos of this girl running, and I think it was so special, like just what the history that she had, and now she's sitting here, but she's still carrying on that legacy.
You want a little deeper history on SNA 750? Henry Flagler, who was one of Standard Oil's vice presidents, bought the Florida East Coast Railway in the early part of the 20th century. And he's the guy who built the railroad to the Keys. He built, I think it's 36 bridges, that may be wrong, and all the way down to Key West. Well, they needed a locomotive that was strong enough, powerful enough to pull passenger trains, but not heavy enough to collapse the bridges.
Yeah.
So they ordered 2 locomotives from Alco to be Pacific wheel configuration, but to be light Pacifics, to weigh less than the normal Pacific did. SNA 750 is one of the 2 locomotives they ordered for the Florida Key West extension in 1910. The 1935 hurricane blew down the railroad, and they never rebuilt it. Some of the structure was used for the first highway to go to Key West. Now they've replaced all of that. But Savannah, Atlanta has a checkered history as one of the 2 locomotives ordered specifically to take the trains to Key West.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And this locomotive was also used extensively by Southern Railway in the 60s, 70s, and 80s in excursion duty. My younger son, who's now 40 years old, and I rode behind this train in the late 80s, and actually were able to get into the cab when it was under fire and see it smoking and belching and warming us up.
Well, it was nice meeting you, Greg, and it was nice. Thank you for donating your time for us.
And we're always looking for volunteers. If you want a good time, this is the place to get it. I kid you not. It is more enjoyable than you could ever imagine. And you're promulgating history and bringing it to a new generation, which is a good thing, in my opinion.
And just like that, our time at the Southeastern Railway Museum has come to a close. Step into history by exploring the many exhibits and ride one of the 2 trains. So until next time, see you down the line. Join us at the next stop of Jacob's Rail Expedition Season 2 as we ride the Lookout Mountain Incline Railway. Topping out at 72.7%, this is one of the steepest railways in the world.